Hello friends, it's me, and today, Barbie, Ken Style Theory. Let's check out Style Theory. What is the Ken effect, the Barbie movie from the Style Theories? Together, let's go.
Trash everything you have in your closet. The Barbie movie just changed fashion for the next decade. And it's not Barbie who did it either. My eyes are on one guy and one guy only. Just Ken. Just Ken. Just Ken. Just Ken. Just Ken. Just Ken.
Style Theory.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, where we
Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory.
can't get enough of Barbie's favorite fashion accessory, Ken. Now, at this point, I think you're all aware the Barbie movie is a smash hit. It's not hard to see why. The marketing team working to promote this thing went all out for it. Giant pink billboards, beach takeovers, neon pink mansions appearing in Malibu literally overnight. Don't get me wrong, the creative team definitely worked hard on the movie, and it is more than solid, but the marketing team, they were in overdrive. The only people who worked harder are sponsor for today's episode, HelloFresh, who works hard to bring fresh food straight to your door. More about them later. The real MVPs of the Barbie movie, though, the costume department. Not only were they able to recreate some of Barbie's most iconic looks for the movie, that much goes without saying, they then went above and beyond by making even more copycat outfits for Margot Robbie to wear during the various press tours. Basically, they took the assignment of making Margot Robbie into a modern-day Barbie and said, hold my brewski beer. 1985's Day to Night Barbie, 1960's Enchanted Evening Barbie, 1960s again here with Solo in the Spotlight Barbie. Even super deep cuts like this throwback to 91's Earring Magic Barbie. It's just too bad that Margot Robbie didn't start handing out matching clip-on earrings to everyone around her, just like how the doll was originally packaged. Then the look would have been truly complete. There has been so much said about Margot Robbie's outfits, it's insane. There's good reason for that. Since the 1960s, Barbie has always been on the forefront of fashion. When the
That makes a very good point. The team behind the movie is just incredible, as incredibly detailed.
miniskirt first debuted in the 1960s, Barbie was there right along with it. As the doll's popularity grew, the miniskirt grew with it. And it's important to remember that thing was controversial back in the day because it was short. It showed off, dare I say it, a woman's legs. But thanks in large part to Barbie's influence with younger girls, the miniskirt became an enduring fashion statement for decades and a mainstream cultural norm from thenceforward. Or another example, in the 90s, the whole aesthetic was just trying to be a Barbie girl. Bright and bold colors, crop tops, platform shoes, accessories like plastic bracelets and chokers. She just set the tone. And her influence hasn't just been felt in mainstream consumer fashion either. Barbie has collabed with every high-end fashion designer from Oscar de la Renta to Moschino. In 2009, for instance, Barbie collaborated with iconic fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld, who created a limited edition Barbie doll and a mini wardrobe inspired by his signature style. The doll wore a tailored black suit, fingerless gloves, high-collared white shirt, and black ankle boots, closely resembling Lagerfeld's own distinctive appearance. This, in turn, introduced a generation of Barbie fans to high-end designer aesthetics. But you know what? I think all of that's already been talked to death. I'm gonna switch it up on you and talk a little bit about Ken. I mean, you probably already knew that. It's in the title or something. Probably also somewhere in the thumbnail. So all told, not that much of a shocker.
And there's a song that is incredible. I think it's the best song in the Barbie movie. I'm just Ken.
Pretend that I really surprised you with this one. Today we're talking about Ken. While we might not have noticed him next to the shining beacon that is Barbie, the character of Ken is primed to be just as influential to the real-life fashion world as his pointy-toed co-star. In fact, I think that he's gonna be even more important. And the ripple effects of Ken in this one movie, I think, are gonna change the face of men's fashion for at least the next decade, and likely even longer. Don't think it's possible? Well, grab your pastel button-downs and don't button it down at all as we dive into the world of men's fashion and how it sometimes collides with male movie role models. Since the very beginning of time, fashion has always been impacted by influencers. And I'm not just talking about the Alpha M's, Chic Geeks, and Derek Guys of the world. I'm talking about some of the earliest influencers out there. Political figures, sports stars, kings, queens, philosophers, gladiators, people high up in their respective social circles. The entire history of fashion influencers, probably a great episode for us to do at a later date. But when visual mediums like film and television first hit the scene, suddenly the world opened up to another massively mainstream way of impacting culture on a global basis. All of a sudden, you had actors and their on-screen characters becoming new breeds of influencers literally overnight. Probably the first major example of this trend came in the 1950s. I think we're all familiar with greasers, right? I mean, every high schooler known to mankind has been subjected to at least one class performance of the musical Grease, so
Oh, I remember. My grandfather's grandmother's generation.
knowledge of this has basically been forcibly implanted into our brains. Greasers like leather jackets, they liked slicked back hair, white t-shirts, and they have a fondness for singing and dancing about their cars. But do you know where the whole greaser aesthetic first got its start? The movies. Two movies, to be specific. The first was 1953's The Wild One, where a young upstart actor named Marlon Brando played Johnny Strabler, the leader of a rebellious bike gang. This stuff was new, it felt edgy, and it caught fire by presenting a completely different image of masculinity than what had been the trend before, preppy button-downs and cardigans. All of a sudden, this one movie opened the world's eyes up to leather jackets, jeans, and t-shirts, hair slicked back with greaser pomade. There was an ease to it, a relaxed coolness that showcased a new and laid-back approach to fashion, breaking away from more formal and traditional dress codes that existed at the time. This movie was then immediately followed up with Rebel Without a Cause 2 years later in 1955, where male heartthrob James Dean is again a cool, relaxed nonconformist with a lot of deep feelings.
I don't know what to do anymore except maybe die.
A lot of deep feelings.
Yeah, not sure if you recognize that. That individual is the grandparent level. Yeah.
It resonated with younger viewers who saw a reflection of themselves, or at least who they wanted to be, on screen.
Yeah, those young viewers back then, yeah, they are grandparents now.
And with that came the fashion. On top of the jeans, t-shirt, and hair, one of the most influential aspects of Rebel Without a Cause was James Dean's signature red windbreaker jacket, which became an iconic symbol of youthful defiance for the decade. It became a must-have fashion item for anyone who was cool, hip, and young, and with it. And thus, the 50s found their iconic male fashion, which would then be remembered forever in the history books and on the cafetorium stage every time a high school senior was forced to belt out "Go Grease Lightnin'." 20 years later, this pattern would actually happen all over again. Style in the 60s was
1960s, yeah. People from back then were grandparents now. Yeah, grandparents now.
heavily influenced by the British invasion, specifically Beatlemania, as British musicians crossed over the pond to find success here in the US. And with them, they brought hordes of screaming fans. Just so many screaming fans for this.
Some of the fences hold, others do not.
But they also brought with them their British fashion. This mod style, as it was known, featured slim-fitting suits, turtlenecks, and bold patterns. Meanwhile, more everyday attire had a relaxed look. Tie-dye shirts, bell-bottom jeans, floral patterns. That would then see its next massive evolution in 1977, when
Which, let me remind you again, if you're a 20 years old in 1977, you are probably a grandfather as well. Or grandmother as well.
Saturday Night Fever hit movie theaters. All of a sudden, disco
Wait,
culture.
I think my mathematics correct. 1977 is like 40 plus, 50 plus years old. Let's say if you're 20 years old back then, for 20 years old plus 50, you are 70 plus years old is, yeah, considered grandparents' age.
Was in the mainstream. Prior to the film, disco was an emerging musical style in the clubs in New York and Philadelphia. After the film, it was everywhere, successfully getting you, your mom, and your grandma out onto the dance floor to hustle and shake your...
Probably not my mom and my grandmother because they are still studying, I guess, maybe.
groove thing. But what's more important than your dance moves at the club? Your clothes at the club. Just like with the wild...
1977. People from... Note that people that you're seeing right now, they're grandparents.
Wild One and Rebel Without a Cause in the 50s, younger audiences fell in love with Saturday Night Fever's story of young people trying to escape the challenges of urban life. Watching the main character Tony find release through incredibly cool dance scenes was a hashtag life goal before hashtag life goals were a thing. They exuded freedom, excitement, self-expression. It was something that viewers wanted to emulate right down to the clothing. Suddenly, three-piece suits in bold colors, flashy patterns, and metallic fabrics became the norm. Lapels were wide, the pants were flared out at the bottom to add a touch of flamboyance to the outfit. Tall platform shoes and shirts left unbuttoned to show the gold chains, all of it accessorized the look. In short, in a world of increased social and economic pressures coming out of the 60s, male fashion became all about escapism through extravagance, drama, celebration. But that's all ancient history, right? The 70s. Are people from there even alive still? Yes. Yes, they are. But also...
Yes, they are alive and they are grandparents' age. Yeah.
Get it. This was the time...
Wait, sorry. If you're 20 years old in 1977, you are 60 plus 70. Yeah, your grandparents' age, 60 plus years old.
Time before the internet. I mean, these people had never even heard of a fidget spinner before, let alone lived through the 3 months that they were popular before immediately descending into the world of self-ironic parody. But just one more example will show you the impact that one movie can have over the course of fashion culture. The Matrix. When this thing came out in 1999, it changed everything. And
they are from... I'm not gonna say my generations. They are from my parents' generations. Okay, my parents are a bit older than that, but you get the point, right? 1977, people are parents now. Well, I can't say they're parents now because my generation stopped giving birth. So
I do mean everything. Filmmaking, technology, how we view technology, popular philosophy. You couldn't have a conversation with anyone that year without someone casually dropping, "There is no spoon," or "What if I told you?" Not all that surprising considering the memes live to this very day. Even the concept of the whole red pill versus blue pill thing, it started here in this movie from 1999. But of course, it also impacted fashion. This one film brought the cyberpunk aesthetic to the mainstream. Prior to The Matrix, it was all just casual and grunge. Things were laid back, baggy. You had flannel shirts with ripped jeans and combat boots. It was the embodiment of an anti-fashion aesthetic. It was also a direct reaction to the more polished and flamboyant styles that were coming out of the 1980s. And so what did Matrix bring to the table to combat grunge? Structure, form, power, energy.
Keanu Reeves looks so young.
Sleek black leather outfits, sharp sunglasses, and of course, the very long coats. To this very day, if you have yourself a long black coat, it immediately gets classified as a quote-unquote Matrix coat. Elements of the Matrix's fashion were featured in editorials and runway shows for years after the film's release. Alexander McQueen in 2000, John Paul Gaultier in 2001. Sure, consumers were eager for these items, but even the biggest names in fashion were inspired by the looks of this movie. And the inspiration never really went away either. As recently as 2017 and 2018, you saw more runway shows riffing on the style again, as nostalgia for the movies and hype around the new sequel ramped back up. Now, obviously, it didn't have the same impact a second time around, but the first time it hit theaters was undeniable, and it had ripple effects in fashions for decades later. The point of all of this is for me to show you that time and time again, we see big cultural milestone movies with a direct appeal to younger viewers shaping the face of fashion each and every time they release. What other commonality do we see across them? A directly opposite fashion sense to everything that came before. Before the greaser, there was the prep. Before the flair of disco, there was the prim and proper mod. Before the Matrix, it was the oversized grunge. Which brings us back to Barbie and its overwhelming amount of Kenergy. On the whole, men's fashion has been fairly stagnant since the mid-2000s. It's been a constant mix of athleisure and graphic tees. You're either getting ready to work out or you're wearing your fandom on your chest. Mix in the occasional hoodie or hipster beanie and you are set. Colors, forget about it. Oatmeal with a side of gray. Even in Hollywood, the land of glitter and over-the-top fashion, there have been very few exceptions to this rule. Classic tuxedos, basic suits, and lots of blacks and neutrals. And these trends were only made more pronounced during the pandemic. I mean, why wear anything other than sweats when you're not going to be leaving the house? Why wear anything fun when there's no one around to see it and nowhere to wear it? The already shallow pool of men's fashion practically froze over. The system was set up, just waiting for something to come around and break it. Enter Kencore. Inspired by the new Barbie movie, Kencore is characterized by its bold, vibrant, self-expressive aesthetic, an aesthetic that incorporates elements of classic menswear with modern twists. Kencore outfits feature bright colors, bold patterns, and statement pieces. Big fur coat, lightning headband, fringe. Sure, in Ken's world, the plastic-painted sky's the limit, but it doesn't even have to be that extreme. A pink suit, a teal shirt, some neon. I mean, we've been seeing celebrities like Harry Styles, Jaden Smith, and Jimin breaking down boundaries on the definition of menswear for a while now. But you needed a big cultural milestone moment to make it mainstream, to break the boundary further and finally cross into the world of the everyman.
Like, for example, the Barbie movie, I'm Just Ken.
success of the Barbie movie, this is that moment. They walked so that Ken could run. Ever since the first set photos leaked back in September of 2022, we've seen more and more menswear leaning into that irresistible Kenergy. Brands are leaning into colors and patterns for men. And yeah, they're even taking inspiration from all that denim. You're even seeing the same mix and match of fabrics and clashing patterns that Ken is known for. And now, on the runways and press events as hype around the movie reached its fever pitch, you had the cast and crew leaning in hard. Let's start with the man of the hour, the king of the Kens himself, Ryan Gosling. Before Barbie, Ryan's go-to looks were pretty blah. No tea, no shade, Ryan looked fine, but there was just nothing there to really impress you, you know? Fast forward to the world post-Ken doctrination though, and we start seeing Ryan donning a full pink-on-pink Gucci number. This look took a classic old Hollywood silhouette and added a modern pastel twist that my color-loving heart adores. And it doesn't stop there either. For the Toronto tour, we see him switching up the Barbie pink for a baby blue. And it's not just Beach Ken turning up the dial on menswear either. Simu Liu, already known for trying more interesting takes on red carpet fashion, kicked his style up a notch too. The Ken pun didn't work in this case, but we're just gonna roll with that. You can't win them all. Anyway, from mixing fabrics with this pastel green Paul Smith suede jacket paired with a pink knitted tank top, or this powder blue Versace number with a utilitarian take on a classic waistcoat, this man has truly harnessed the true power of a good stylist. In short, men are feeling just as empowered as women in the wake of this film to take chances on their wardrobes. Plus, all that extra pocket space means that Ken is now ready to hold all of Barbie's many accessories. Shoot, I'm doing it again. I'm making Ken's fashion about Barbie.
That's also why you have a second pair that are mirrored so you can reflect Barbie's greatness, because that's really your job.
Wrong, Ken. You can shine too. In the end, the Barbie movie is doing a lot for women in both the fashion world and beyond, but it also seems to be doing something equally impossible, changing menswear for the better. To let the
For a decade.
boys finally know that they too can wear unique, exciting clothing and not feel self-conscious. Just like the doll's been preaching to Barbie all these years. Seriously though, can I get one of those pink or green jackets? They look awesome. But hey, if your Kenergy's feeling a bit low, you can always recharge with the help of today's sponsor, HelloFresh. They're gonna throw in an epic dinner party for all your favorite Barbies and Kens. HelloFresh takes the panic out of meal planning by delivering pre-portioned ingredients straight to your door. And there is nothing to worry about when it comes to helping keep your plastic physique looking fantastic. HelloFresh offers a variety of meal plans to fit every doll's personal goals. Yes, I'm speaking to you, all you career beach Kens out there. I'd suggest they're a fit and wholesome option for you. Not only is it delicious, but it also takes the hassle out of staying healthy. But if there's more mouths to feed around the house, like say you got some Kellys and Tommies waiting for you when you get home, try out the family-friendly option. Great for those tiny tots always keeping you on your toes. Get it? Because Barbie is always on her toes. And if you are still starving, well, you can add more food from HelloFresh's amazing selections of snacks, sides, and more. Plus, it's more affordable than takeout. And just for all of you here in Theoryland, HelloFresh is giving you a special offer of 50% off plus free shipping. Talk about a sweet deal. So go on over to HelloFresh.com and then use the code 50StyleTheory at checkout to get started. That is HelloFresh.com with the code 50 StyleTheory to get yourself 50% off your entire order and free shipping. Link is in the top line of the description for you. And as always, remember, my friends, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp.
Thank you so much for watching this video. And Map makes a very good point. It's like, this video came out in the year 2023, and if it's 10 years later, it will be 2033. The impact will be a decade. That's a lot of time. Much respect to you guys, man. The team behind this Barbie movie, you guys did a great job. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Much respect to all of you who are... Much respect to Matt's Pet and the team by this video. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much. Thank you. Subscribe. Like truly, I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Bye bye.